Hey there, Internet. I'm Annie.
I'm Kit.
And I'm Mac.
And this is I Will Fight You, a podcast where we've been turning opinion into stone-cold facts since 1986. Mackenzie, what is today's fact?
This film should have been called Hellevator.
Yeah!
I like how we said that before we say what the movie's actual name is.
Yeah, this is the 2010 movie that is M. Night Shyamalan associated, called Devil, and the little V looks like a down button on the elevator, but as you might imagine, the SEO on that is terrible.
It's not good.
It's not good.
It's such a bland-ass name.
And if you ever mention it, or you mention M. Night Shyamalan's Elevator movie, no one has any fucking clue what you're talking about.
No.
Which is weird, because the moment you guys started talking about the movie that we will be referring to as Hellevator, like, first off, the moment you called it Hellevator, I was like, oh, I wonder if it's that M. Night Shyamalan Elevator movie from, like, 10 years ago.
Right?
I immediately made the association, but, like, that's probably why I'm friends with you guys. Because nobody else has, I guess.
We're just going to get this over with right away. Mackenzie and I have seen this movie several times, adored how weird it is. I'm not even sure it's bad, but it's not necessarily a good movie, but it's just like from minute one, you're like, oh, okay, the devil is in an elevator. Why wasn't this called Hellevator?
Each individual minute of this movie is very competently made, but from minute 1 to minute 80, it is very incompetent.
Yes. This movie is, as Kit just said, this movie is extremely competently made. And yet.
This is a 2010, I say like M. Night Shyamalan associated. He actually produced this movie and he wrote the story for it, but it's directed with a screenplay by different people. But it's still kind of a Shyamalan movie.
It is also the most made in Toronto movie you will ever see in your life.
Oh boy, is it.
Oh boy, is it. Also, folks, trigger warnings.
Yes.
There's suicide, there's murder, there's hit and runs with cars here, there's elevators, in case you didn't realize that one.
Child death.
Claustrophobia.
It's one of those films, you know.
It's a horror movie.
It is a PG-13, so aside from the first 5 minutes suicide, most everything else is heavily implied but not gratuitously shown.
However, you will hear the phrase suck a butt.
Yeah, which
we'll get to that.
Yeah, and it's just never addressed that a person says that, by the way. This isn't like a suck a fuck Donnie Darko situation. This is just said as if that's a thing people say.
Suck a butt.
Suck a butt.
What's fun is that, like, I have some info about, like, the director, the screenplay writer. A lot of this movie, like, the cast is, like, they're all in lots of stuff, but none of it is stuff that particularly, like, pings anything for me. So I have almost nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I did end up doing the Leonardo DiCaprio pointing at the screen thing when Caroline Davernat showed up, because she's a Canadian actress who, among other things, played Alana Bloom in Hannibal, and, like, that was my, hey, it's that person reaction for this movie.
Here's the thing that did not hit my blind spot from IMDb's trivia section pointed out this little tidbit, which is that the guy that plays the mechanic, Logan Marshall Green, and the guy that plays the guard, Bokeem Woodbine, are both in Spider-Man Homecoming, and they both play Shocker number 1 and Shocker number 2, respectively. That's just weird.
That is just weird.
Logan Marshall Green, I believe, has also been in a couple of, like, other weird sci-fi and horror movies. The one that immediately comes to mind is the one where he's got a chip in his brain that controls his body.
Yeah.
I don't remember what that one's called.
Director is John Eric Dowdle. The screenplay is by Brian Nelson. They both have horror credit I'm not, like, super familiar with personally. Brian Nelson has done a lot of teleplays and supernatural shows. John Eric Dowdle, I guess, along with his brother, they direct and produce a bunch of horror stuff. Brian Nelson, though, notably for me, he wrote 4 episodes of the Disney Channel supernatural teen show So Weird, which I think only me and Jake Mason remember.
Oh, I just checked, and Logan Marshall Green was also in Prometheus. He's the guy whose face got melted.
Oh, good for him.
Good for him.
Here's a thing about Devil. There's really not a whole lot of stuff that's notable about the production of this, but it was originally supposed to kick off like an anthology trilogy that had the loose thematic tie of supernatural stuff happens in urban settings. Like a little Shyamalan anthology thing. The second movie was going to be called 12 Strangers, and as you may guess, it was about like a spooky jury or something.
Like 12 angry men, but there's a monster there.
Yeah, 12 angry men, but there's a monster or something.
What a twist!
There was going to be a third movie that was going to be lifted from an abandoned sequel to Shyamalan's earlier movie, Unbreakable, but that idea was spun off and later became Split, which is the Shyamalan movie about how someone once heard like 2 sentences about dissociative identity disorder and decided that not only did they now know everything about DID, but also that it's scary.
Yeah, so this is about someone who like read the back cover of Sybil and then decided they were gonna make a movie.
Which, you know, Shyamalan also makes movies about how old people are scary.
Fair.
And getting old is scary. What if a beach made you old?
You should talk to my cat. My cat is terrified of old people.
Which one?
Hubert.
Your cat and Laird Barron are terrified of old people. Laird Barron, actually a good horror writer. Does not write horror anymore, is now doing noir instead, which, yeah, that tracks. Having read his horror, you'll be like, yeah, this guy wants to be a noir writer.
Whenever Hubert and I used to go on walks, he'd be perfectly fine until an old person walked by, and then he'd just freak out and panic and rush all the way back to our apartment and slam into the door until I opened it for him.
Hubert, I've got bad news about how humans age.
He's got a cat lifespan. He'll be out of the picture before Mackenzie gets to, like, old people age.
He's gonna be in and out before any scary stuff starts happening.
He's not a smart boy.
No.
He's just cute.
Bless his heart. Personal experience. Like I said, Mac and I have watched this a bunch.
We've watched it a bunch. We first watched it when living together.
Ah, that would have been it. Was John the one who said it should have been called Hellevator, or did we all just reach that conclusion together?
I think we all just reached it simultaneously.
Yeah, because I know that John can nail titles like he's a savant at it sometimes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we were all watching it and we all just kind of looked at each other and were like, why isn't it Hellevator?
Why is this called Devil?
This came out of the same living situation as the obsession with Grave Encounters, then.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
And Gem and the Holograms.
And
Yes.
Gem and the Holograms.
And
okay.
He-Man.
And He-Man.
And David Tutera's My Fair Wedding.
Oh, David Tutera's My Fair Wedding.
It feels weird that we haven't covered this movie before now, in that case.
I feel like it's been on our list for a while.
Yeah, it's been on our cover list, but I just decided last time to choose it.
And Kit, was this your first viewing of Devil?
I mean, I heard about it back when it came out, and then I heard from the reviews that it wasn't very good, so I was like, okay, I can probably not see that. And then it just completely fled from my mind until you guys started talking about a movie called fucking Hellevator. And then I watched it for the first time today, and the best praise that I can give for it right now is that it was only 80 minutes long.
Man, isn't it nice when a movie is 80 minutes long?
Oh, it's so
I
nice.
do like when a movie's 80 minutes long.
I love it when a movie has fewer than 120 minutes on its runtime. I think that's
it's so
great.
nice. I think it's great. It's so nice. That means you're not committing to a lot, you know?
Yeah.
Thank God they didn't try to make this longer, because I was mentioning before we started recording, this feels like a 3,000 word short story like concept. Like, this feels like something Harlan Ellison would write. And the fact that they have to make a feature-length movie out of it means that there's a lot of faffing around that the story does not actually need.
Yeah, great news about that, actually. It is based on essentially the folk story of the Devil's Meeting, which is basically what one of our characters is going to be talking about this whole time.
Good old Ramirez.
It is just like folklore stuff. And it is exactly that simple and bare bones, just like, hey, sometimes the devil comes down to earth and wants to, like, get you.
Sometimes the devil wants to get you.
Sometimes the devil wants to get you.
And he's just in an elevator going, I'm gonna get you.
I'm gonna get ya.
And so, like, they took that And I feel like at that point, they basically said, all right, now we need to add about 40 minutes to this. Speaking of faffing about, let's have a really long opening credits sequence.
Yeah, let's have a really long opening credits sequence.
But
let's start with a Bible verse.
Yes! White text on a black screen to tell you to buy into some shit. It's my favorite.
2 movies in a row we're doing this.
Hell yeah!
Be sober. Be vigilant. Because your adversary, the devil, walks about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour.
The moniker of the devil as the adversary, by the way, is still so fucking metal. I love that.
It's so fucking metal.
And we start with a voiceover from a guy who we'll later learn is named Ramirez. Yes, he is in this movie, talking about, like, my mom would tell me stories about how the devil takes human form to punish the wicked and take their souls, and he gathers people together to torture them as he, like, walks amongst them pretending to be one of them. So this is the part where the movie turns to you and says, this is the plot of the movie you're going to see. This is it.
Which is a shame, because, like, I feel like the ending of this movie functions so much better if we don't constantly have a frame device saying, it's the devil!
The devil's here!
Yeah. This is a movie that, like, we've talked before about Hitchcockian suspense, which is giving the audience information that the characters themselves do not have, and that can heighten the tension of even just, like, a mundane conversation scene, because the audience knows something that is imperiling the characters. And there's that. And then there's this, which is the movie gently taking your hand and turning to you every couple of minutes to explain to you what the scene is going to be about so you don't get spooked.
Yeah, this is in fact too much information to the point where it just removes the tension entirely.
Yeah. I also love that, like, as we're doing this, we're going to do this big pan of Philadelphia, but upside down. Welcome to my twisted mind. It's Philadelphia, but upside down.
This is not a visual metaphor for anything, and I mean that entirely non-sarcastically.
Yeah.
This happens because the DP thought it would look cool. Like, this doesn't tie into any of the themes of the movie whatsoever. There is no reversal. There is no the world is upside down from what it's supposed to be. Somebody just thought it would be cool to shoot Philly upside down for the opening credits.
What if you see the Ben Franklin Bridge upside down?
Our score comes in, and it does this 4-note thing of, like, that I swear to God, it's just like, Hellevator. Hellevator, Hellevator, Hellevator. So that's what the movie is actually called.
Elevator.
And then we, like, land on the roof of a building as we go across this skyline.
And then we zoom in into the elevator shaft. A elevator shaft, if you will.
And Ramirez gently turns to the audience and says, there's a suicide that's about to happen.
And it paves the way to the devil's arrival.
And it would always end with the deaths of all those trapped.
Okay, buddy. Thanks for telling us what the movie's get. What is this, fucking Shakespeare?
Oh my god.
Just gonna, in case we wander off, you want us to know what the whole plot's gonna be?
Ramirez is the chorus.
It's just the chorus, yeah. And then we have a scene of, like, a janitor who's wearing headphones, working a floor polisher. He's just jamming out. He's having a nice time. He's kind of being an Atti. He's my friend Atti.
Go that way to the elevator.
That's our friend Atti. He does not give a single solitary shit
Nope.
about the dead body plummeting from the roof and landing on a truck behind him.
Like, a body just slams into a bread truck. It's, honestly, again, like, it's a really well-shot bit. Like, this is a competently made part of the movie. It's not, like, the best cinematography, but it's, like, for the kind of movie this is, this looks much better than it ought to.
Yeah, this whole film.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of this movie looks a lot better than it's shot on film, so it's got that nice film grain to it. Mm-hmm. All of the shots are perfectly competent. Some of it is just, like, genuinely imaginative. It's not doing the Madame Web thing where it's constantly going, like, shots, but it is, like... it is, like, shot in a way where it's, like, it's nice to look at. It knows what it's doing.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's introduce ourselves to Detective Bowden, the guy who does not need to be here.
Yeah, the movie kind of could function perfectly well without him, honestly.
Yeah. So this is a character, I swear to God, they give him a name, Detective Bowden, but even in the credits, most of the principals are referred to by descriptor, like the young woman, the old woman, the mechanic. So I just call this guy the detective because I don't think I need to learn his name.
You don't. He doesn't even need to be here. Why are you here?
He is completely superfluous to what happens in the plot of this movie.
I think this actor would later go on to be in the Mindy Project. That's the only thing I recognize him from.
Yeah. But he's in a diner.
He's talking to his AA sponsor.
And his AA sponsor is turning to the camera and telling you about kind of the loose theme? Maybe? Not really, but like, go with it, please. About like...
Yeah, one of this movie's 12 themes.
Yeah. And it's like, you have to let go of resentment. You have to try forgiveness. It's really important. He's like, in order to truly be free, you might need to start believing in something greater than yourself, which is a good time to remind everyone that, hey, AA is a very good program. It is also an organization that has its roots in a Christian revival group and has those influences, so your mileage may vary as to whether or not that's actually useful for you in particular.
Yeah, an addiction recovery program rooted in shame might not be your thing if you're not from that religious background, or even if you are.
And that's when the detective is like, oh, a guy killed my family, and that shakes my faith. Why can't we talk about anything normal? And his AA sponsor is like, I'm your AA sponsor. What do you think this is for?
Yeah, this isn't a chit-chat kind of relationship, my guy.
And then the detective hops off to go find a bread truck with a body on it.
Yup. Bowden is like, this thing bounced the truck, but he jumped from that tall building over there, and then the truck hit this barrier and turned this corner, and that's why it's over here now.
Yeah, we have this whole 5-minute mystery about how did this body get off of this 2-story building and make an impact on this bread truck. Oh, it rolled from down the street.
It's like a genuinely good, like, establishing that this guy is a good detective kind of moment. He's not going to be a good detective for the rest of the movie, but the movie really wants you to know that he can observe that there's no broken glass around the truck. Therefore, this is not where the body initially fell kind of stuff.
And it's also a mystery that is introduced and then resolved within like 2 minutes. So it feels like it's just kind of padding out for time here.
Yeah.
Anyway, here's Ontario. Look at this building that is in definitely not Canada. Don't worry about it.
No!
Yeah, nothing about this is Canadian. Please ignore the prominent Canadian actors who showed up to work the forensics scene. That is Caroline Davernat. She's great. We love her.
Oh, bless her heart. She's in this movie for 5 seconds.
Yeah, she's here in a bit right now, and she's here in a bit later.
And that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
She does a good job in those bits, though. I enjoy her.
She does definitely have more presence than a lot of other characters, like Detective's cop partner with the mustache. Why couldn't she have been his partner in this?
Unknown.
Anyway, it's time to assemble our players as we do a pan around this skyscraper in Philadelphia.
They're named salesman and mechanic. They are given names, sort of. But we're going to refer to them as the movie refers to them, which is salesman, mechanic. Oh, and there's guard stopping a young woman. And over there's old woman.
Let's not get into the Freudian implications of the fact that the men are all named for their occupations and the women are just young woman and old woman.
Oh boy, and especially because old woman really isn't that old. She's kind of late middle-aged.
Also, spoiler alert, old woman's the devil.
What a twist!
Yeah, the fact that we later find that out makes a whole lot of the stuff that happens earlier not make sense, but that's fine.
What a twist!
We're gonna be using the robot chicken bit a lot in this episode, aren't we?
We will.
So the young woman and the guard argue about her having to sign into the guest book. The guard has to take a folder to another floor. We try to get some light characterization of like, oh, guard wants to take the stairs, not an elevator.
He's scared of elevator.
But then he gets in an elevator anyway. There's a full elevator, but then the salesman and the old woman get in an empty one, and here comes the guard, and here comes the young woman, and here comes the mechanic. And now they're all in the elevator!
They're all in the elevator!
The elevator! And then the doors close and we hear this bouncy music, Don't Sit Under the Apple Tree. Do you get it?
You get it?
Do you get like the apple? Like the apple
the
tree,
fruit?
like
the fruit?
like the one in Eden, the forbidden fruit?
Like fruit?
The
You
one
remember?
with all the knowledge?
I thought we were implying don't sit under the apple tree because then an apple might fall on your head. You know, like elevators do sometimes.
Oh, we'll get into that.
See, it works on a lot of levels. It's a good movie. Again, we're going to get these brief bits of characterization of a bunch of unpleasant people. Salesman looks young woman up and down from behind, and then he realizes old woman is just kind of squinting at him, which I genuinely like.
I do genuinely like that one. That's the devil being like, buddy, even I don't do that shit.
Again, the establishing of the characters here is genuinely competent.
And then there's a big crunching sound, and the elevator stops. And that's where it will be for the next 70 minutes?
70 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, we're not very far into this. Movie doesn't waste your time getting everyone into the elevator.
Yeah.
Flash to our security guards. They're watching some hockey. They realize the elevator's in maintenance mode. Ramirez points it out. Other guy, whose name I can't remember and won't care about forever, calls our maintenance guy and is like, why does it say that?
Dwight the maintenance guy.
Dwight the maintenance guy. And he's like, why is this in inspect mode? And maintenance guy is like, are you sure you're reading it right? And he replies with, I'll ask your mom to read it for me next time I bend over the console.
Ha
To which Dwight responds, yeah, my mother's 78, have at it. Like, I kind of genuinely like this exchange. This is fun.
Yeah, I kind of genuinely like it too.
These guys know each other, they can razz each other a little bit, it's fun. I like this bit of character here. It's a shame it's not in a better movie.
Yeah. We also find out that Dwight is not only the maintenance guy, but apparently he's also the guy who has to clean up the broken glass from a big hole on floor 35, where there's just a big person-sized glass hole.
Where'd it come from? I don't know. A bird must have flown in or something.
I don't know. I'm fundamentally incurious. Glass is super easy to break that high up, I guess. Anyway, he's not paid enough to care, but he is paid enough to crawl around in the elevator maintenance shafts later.
Yeah.
With no backup, it's just the one guy.
Just the one man.
He's the one guy for the whole building, apparently.
Honestly, that tracks.
Which has, at least 42 stories, it sounds like.
Seems like. What's-her-face says 42, please.
Yeah. And they are, by the way, in an express elevator that is going to start at, floor 25, so that is going to be something that comes up later.
We're on express elevator to hell.
Meanwhile, in the Hellevator.
Guard is like, I need to call my job so I don't get fired. And look, buddy, this is your job in this building. When they find out an elevator is stuck, they know.
It is not going to be your fault.
They aren't going to fire you within the hour.
You also even told a guy, hey, I'm going to get in an elevator, and then walk to the elevators.
And then
later, security found out that an elevator was stuck. Yup. Of course, this is just his manifestation of his apparent claustrophobia, but still, my guy, come on.
Old woman, by the way, is really great in here because she's just instantly the naggiest, most awful old lady that you've ever encountered in customer service.
Literally a Karen. She is the worst. And you're like, yes, I can see that the devil is here.
She keeps doing that thing where it's like, oh, don't you think you should have done this? Or don't you think that's a bad idea? Or don't you think you should have taken a walkie-talkie? Like, the kind of boomer customer service bitchiness that implies that you have done poorly at your job and you should have so many regrets and I'm going to lay all of your sins upon you.
So yeah, no wonder she's the devil.
Yep.
She's the devil.
Meanwhile, back in the security office, other security guard who is not Ramirez, because one of them is Ramirez, and this is the white guy who looks vaguely like a dollar store Henry Winkler.
He does. He really does.
He does. He's like, hey, everybody, hang tough. We'll get you out of there soon, because they have a camera feed into the elevator, but the microphone in the elevator apparently isn't working, so they can speak, but they can't hear anybody inside the elevator car or anything.
Salesman is like, when was the last time you heard someone say hang tough? And then promptly turns around as old woman bitches and says, why don't you suck a butt?
Yeah, it's like, hey, why don't you lay off singing along to the music? And he's like, why don't you suck a butt? And I swear, I rewatched that lip flap like 3 times. I'm almost certain he actually says dick.
But they chose butt.
And they just dubbed it over where they were like, that's maybe a little too edgy for a PG-13 movie.
So instead he says suck a butt, and then everyone has to exist in a universe
Where
that is
normal.
a thing that has been said.
A totally normal thing.
And that's apparently supposed to be normal.
Where that is a thing where everybody says it. They'll call out hang tough, but not suck a butt.
Somebody could say, like, kiss my ass or something. But, like, suck a butt?
Suck a butt.
Suck a butt.
Just slurp that butt up.
And then we all have to leave that scene for a while as we all contemplate the fact that a grown man said something like suck a butt.
Yeah.
I feel like in the, 30-minute stage play version of this, it just takes place entirely inside the elevator. But because this is a movie that's easily 3 times that length, we have to keep leaving the Hellevator to go check on other stuff.
Yeah, this is such like a 30-minute play. This is a single set play in like a studio room or something. This is such an easy play to put on, and you just have voiceover going on over there while these characters are all in a bottle losing their minds at each other. Like, that's easy, that's effective, but it's not 80 minutes.
Nope.
You can't just do no exit the movie. We have to go and do this fucking cop plot.
Right. But at least in the meantime, we hang out with Dwight for a little bit, because Dwight's up on the roof now, and he's looking down into an elevator shaft, and as he looks down, Ramirez comes over.
We get a Ramirez voiceover. And he goes,
You gotta stop saying Ramirez.
Sorry,
That's not his
Ramirez.
name.
Ramirez. In the stories, innocent people always die. He doesn't take kindly to those who stand in his way.
And again, like, the movie's just like, Dwight's going to die.
Ooh.
And then jump scares you to make you think he's going to die right now,
Gonna die to a raccoon!
and then doesn't.
No, he's just getting into a tussle with some raccoons.
Yeah, there's just a raccoon here.
There are so many animals that just get into these elevator shafts. We also have a brief cut to the detective and his partner. That's like, oh yeah, detective, you've been sober for 90 days. Congratulations on your backstory.
Congratulations!
Oh no, there's a giant shard of glass that almost falls on Mustache.
Rip mustache. But he survives.
I feel like there's a version of this movie that is part of the Final Destination franchise.
Speaking of Final Destination franchise, is everybody ready for some math facts?
Oh, yes, please.
Yes.
So, in case you're ever in an elevator and you're worried, don't be worried. Your elevator can't freefall. Most elevators these days operate from a mix of both cables and hydraulic pistons. So first, for it to begin to get close to freefall, the piston would need to completely shatter, which is only likely to happen if, like, suddenly the elevator finds itself buried beneath the ocean floor or something like that. Just abruptly. And if that happens, you have other worries. And then, there are cables backing up, which hold the elevator, and we're talking like 6 cables per elevator, and each one of those cables is graded strong enough to completely hold the elevator on its own. So even if 5 shatter, you've got 1 still hanging on. And then...
This is not the Tower of Terror ride.
No.
Those are actual elevator company devices, but that is not how an actual elevator works.
No. But say the hydraulic piston shatters and all 6 cables explode, there's a little centrifuge on the side of your elevator that acts without electricity or anything, just by using gravity. If it notices gravity is changing too fast, brakes just kind of fall out and will slow your elevator.
Yeah.
And say all of that fails. Every single one of those things fails. Your elevator is a piston inside a little cylinder, and so as it falls, all that air is like, what the fuck? How do I get out of here? And that activates a tiny little spring that then activates to slow your elevator down.
It's almost like these are made by companies who specifically make boxes that go up and down and should not kill people.
There's only one recorded elevator that fell and killed its passengers, and this is where
Really?
we're getting to Final Destination shit.
Okay.
That's serious. That's the only time it happened that wasn't like an entire building collapsing or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And this was in 1945 New York City, when a B-25 bomber pilot got disoriented in some fog and flew into the side of the Empire State Building.
Holy shit!
One of his engines and the landing gear got thrown into an elevator shaft, severed almost all the cables, and this was before they were all graded to hold the elevator, because those rules are written in blood, and the elevator fell 78 stories.
Oh my god!
That said, this is where we get to the Final Destination. One lady was fucking slammed by the plane as it hit the building.
What?
She suffered severe burns but was still alive. Paramedics placed her on the elevator to go down to be hospitalized. That was the one with the severed cables. As it started moving down, the final one broke. It plummeted 1,000 feet, and she survived with only a broken pelvis and those burns.
What the fuck?
So what? But now elevators are so good that in 2018 at the John Hancock Center in Chicago, meanwhile, an elevator fell 84 stories and the people inside did not even notice it fell because all those other things popped into place, so they didn't even notice.
Yeah, Mythbusters even did an episode that involved, like, dropping an elevator, and they had to fuck up that elevator so bad before it would actually, like, drop the full length of the shaft and drop and hit the bottom.
Yeah.
So, Mackenzie, this is probably a good time. Like, I know that you don't have a great thing with heights, so is this sort of your research instinct kicks in to basically be like, oh, this is actually fairly safe?
Yes. I hate heights.
Nice.
Yeah, Mackenzie, did you look up this information before or after you saw Hellevator for the first time?
I actually knew all about... Well, I can't remember when I first started looking into elevator disasters, but I always look into disasters. One of my autism hyper-focuses is disasters. Elevators was one of them, and I do remember anytime Annie and I have watched this, I have told her facts about elevators. But just in case.
I know a lot about elevators now.
Don't worry. Your elevator's fine.
Statistically speaking, it's still the safest way to fly.
Yeah.
Safest way to travel. Shit.
Statistically speaking.
It's worth noting that when Final Destination did kill somebody with an elevator, it's because they had the door close on their head and then the elevator go up beheading that person.
Yeah, statistically, Dwight's more likely to die because if he's in the shaft and the elevator starts moving, he's just getting scraped against the side.
Don't get attached to Dwight, by the way.
By the way, Dwight's dying.
Yeah, the movie has kindly told you Dwight will die.
Yeah, the movie has kindly warned you ahead of time. Don't get attached to this guy. We're gonna kill him.
Just very gently, like, we just pause the movie, turn to you, and it's like, Dwight will get eaten by the eels at this time.
Ramirez learns about the suicide.
Yeah, nope, not Ramirez.
Not Ramirez, Mackenzie.
This one, at least, is something that I feel like we do have to put our foot down on.
Yeah, no, I need to say it right, but my brain just said Ramirez the whole time. How is it again?
Ramirez.
I'm gonna change all that.
They say his name so many times in the movie.
I don't remember anybody's names.
Yeah. No, I mean, if it's written down, I get it, but yeah, Ramirez. Emphasis on the second syllable.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's written down, and so my brain just reads it phonetically.
So Dwight does figure out that, like, he's going to go flip the circuits to try and reboot it. Basically, he's going to turn the elevator lights off and on again, the power to the elevator off and on again, just to flip it, see if that, like, fixes it. Because, you know, that is the first thing that you should do, is just turn something off and on again.
Hold on to your butts.
So the lights go out in the elevator, they flip back on, and the guard is holding on to the old woman's sleeve because he is claustrophobic.
He is claustrophobic and scared.
He says his brother locked him in a trunk for 6 hours when they were kids. Jesus Christ, brother shit. Little brother shit. God damn it.
Yeah. And then young lady screams because she's bit by something.
The mechanic starts feeling around the roof. He finds an access panel that the guard stands below to relax him a little. And then Ramirez finds out back in the security station that somebody jumped out the window on floor 35 this morning. And Ramirez, we zoom in on Ramirez as his superstitious Catholic Latino in a horror movie senses start tingling.
Dios mío.
Yeah, I am so not chill with the fact that Ramirez is positioned as the guy who knows all about this because he is A, foreign, and B, superstitious.
Yeah, this is how we have the magical Negro stereotype.
Yeah.
This is the variant on that, which is the superstitious Catholic Latine.
Not cool with it. I
Nope.
don't enjoy this.
No.
It's not great, because
It's not great.
that's Ramirez's role in this movie. All of the characterization that we got the hint of is pretty much going to be flushed down the drain as he now tells the white people everything they need to know, but everyone thinks that he's just being ridiculous.
He's just hokey. He's ridiculous. Don't listen to him.
Yeah, he's foreign. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
He speaks in Spanish sometimes. What kind of language is that?
He speaks in Spanish and he has a cross pendant. That's all Ramirez gets to be in this movie.
Yup.
Yeah.
I'm not from here! I have my own customs! Look at my crazy passport!
Wasn't Ramirez also in the film's Arachnophobia or something? Hold on. That might be a completely other miscast, stereotyped Hispanic actor. And that might just be my bad whiteness
Hollywood
going on. We'll see.
loves a superstitious Catholic Latine.
Yeah. I just feel like I know them from somewhere. Who do I know you from?
Yeah, I tried to look him up too, and I did. Nothing pinged for me as something that that stood out for me in particular. Meanwhile, in the Hellevator, they're all bored, and the salesman decides that now is the best time to start pitching mattress sales. Listen, always be closing.
Always be closing.
I respect this man's hustle. He has a captive audience, and he will keep talking until they agree to buy a mattress from him. They're just standing around, and then the young woman jumps because she thinks that the salesman touched her ass.
Sorry, is everybody still here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just staring at this list of things he's been in. I recognize a lot of these things. But
That's the thing.
He's always bit actors.
Yeah.
So maybe you just remember him in aggregate from
Yeah.
all of the things that you've watched.
Probably it. Yeah, so she's bit by something.
Well,
Touch the ass.
That's what
yeah.
she says.
This is the butt touch first.
The butt touches first, right.
And then the lights start flickering again as Dwight throws a switch from the basement. Nothing seems to happen in the elevator. And Dwight is like, I guess I'm going to have to come in from above and manually reset it from the top of the car.
Rip.
And then back in the security station, the lights keep flickering. And in the security video, Ramirez sees a scary face.
Yes.
And it's so blatantly a scary face that the fact that all the other characters are like, well, that's clearly not a face. They look like the stupid ones as a result.
They do. Which also kind of fair, because if someone was like, look at this scary face, I would be like, buddy, you can see faces in anything.
But this is so blatantly a scary face.
I mean, we do have pattern-seeking brains, but this is very much somebody...
This one's a very blatant one. Yes.
This one is just like a Halloween mask.
Yeah. The devil being like, yo, what up?
Yeah, you look at that and you go, oh, that's the devil.
Cut to Dwight making his way through the building, and then back in the Hellevator, the lights go out again. There is a rumbling, there's the sound of bodies moving, and then the lights come up, and young woman is on the floor bleeding from the back, and she's like, I feel like I got bit.
Something bit me. And then we show a thing on her back, which looks demonic, I guess.
I guess. Mechanics suggest that maybe...
It doesn't look like a human bite.
Yeah.
No. It doesn't really look like a bite at all. It just kind of looks like a bunch of cuts.
Yeah.
We're not doing that thing like you get in horror movies where it's like, these bite marks must have come from... But they're too big. Surely these claw marks can't be from something so small. Unless something has brown eyes.
Insert brown eyes supercut.
Yeah.
I can't do the whole supercut.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, I do like at this point that the movie starts doing the thing that kind of proves why John Carpenter's The Thing would be a completely different movie if there were women present, which is that the moment there is an actual sense of peril, all the men start punching each other in the face over being the person to protect the attractive woman in the room who's vulnerable.
Yeah, this is the part of the movie where the old woman is going to start fading into the background as all of the men start arguing with each other.
Yeah, over who is actually protecting the young woman from the others.
They finally turn off the "Don't Sit Under the Apple Tree" music, which has been going this whole time, by the way, off and on.
And making them insane.
Which, honestly, mood.
They keep talking about, like, oh, maybe a serrated blade made this cut. Does anyone have any serrated blades on them? Would we all like to start checking each other to make sure we have serrated blades? Meanwhile, outside, there's a storm coming. No, literally, there's some thunder rumbling.
Yes.
The devil?
The devil.
Is this that folksy saying about domestic abuse, where thunder is like the devil's beating his wife? Is that what's happening? I don't know. But we do find out that the skyscraper is at 333 Locust Street.
Locusts, get it?
Get
it?
333, do you get it? Locusts?
Honestly, the fact that they didn't make it 666 Locust Street.
Cowards.
It's half that number.
Cowards. You knew that this was the movie you were making and you didn't make it 666? What the fuck are you doing?
For the moment, they had some mild restraint and they were like, no, that would be 2 on the nose. Never mind that everything else is on the nose.
Even, like, the name of the bread company that the body falls onto is, like, a biblical thing. We later hear that there's another street where, like, a car accident happened called Bethlehem Avenue. It's like, come on now.
Why is this the one place where you showed restraint?
It's shocking that in no point in the rest of this movie does anyone even get any, like, stigmata happening or something. Anyway, speaking of Ramirez being the superstitious Catholic Latino in a horror movie, he's like, I found the face. Look at the face. Oh my God. I need to get out my cross and start praying. He's just this poor man. He has no character aside from being like a horror movie stereotype and not even a good one.
Do you think the actor got this script and was like, well, I gotta pay rent, so...
Almost for sure.
On a scale from 1 to 10, how... Oh, 11? Okay. I gotcha. Let me just go practice my Madre de Dioses.
So the detective finally arrives with the security guards.
Yeah, he's finally clued in on the Hellevator scenario.
He's finally here. He really doesn't need to be here.
No.
Yeah, the security guards take one look at the fact that there's somebody bleeding in there and this. They're like, okay, this is officially a let's call the cops situation.
Yeah. We're not paid enough for this, thanks.
And the detective is like, oh, okay. You should get the fire department here so they can actually do something because the fire department are the real heroes.
Yeah.
And also call somebody from the elevator company to get on this. We later find out the elevator company is out of business, so that's completely superfluous.
Who's servicing this elevator?
Nobody, apparently.
Oh.
Also, can we start getting background stories on all of our characters, he asks? Can we get the temp agency to tell us everything about Guard?
And then he, like, pushes the intercom and he's like, yo, do any of you have a pen? And all of them shake their heads. And I just want to say they should have known that the old lady was the devil right now. Because I have never met an old lady who doesn't carry pens.
Yeah, never, ever, ever.
Like she's got a huge purse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every time I'm, like, somewhere public and I'm like, gosh, I need a pen, 50 old ladies pull them out of their purses.
She's got 3 of them, and 2 of them are from banks.
Yep.
Yeah, one of them is stolen from her lawyer. There is also a bit where the cop asks, like, the detective asks them to all show their IDs on the camera, but the camera is absolute shit, so they can't see anything. The old lady is showing, like, hers pretty close to the camera, and you may be squinting at that picture and going, that doesn't look like her, actually. Put a pin in that.
but not a pen. Just a pin.
But not a pen, just a pin.
Not a pin.
Ramirez is also like, you should see the face. I saw the face. Tell him about the face. And the non-Henry Winkler is like, Ramirez is religious. Don't listen to him. Oh my God. Oh my God. Please stop. Please stop. And they won't stop. Ramirez will keep doing this, but worse, the whole movie. He's just like, all right, 11, I can go to 11.
This is also like occupying that space in cinema where there are certain kinds of movies that take place in a universe where we're all pretending that everyone is an atheist and Christians are oppressed.
Yeah.
Like, usually it's just the Left Behind movies and some Hallmark movies that occupy that universe, but this movie also lives there.
Them poor, oppressed Christians.
Yeah, to the point where this movie feels like if it was made in even just like 5 years later, this would have been one of those like made by a Christian studio, only distributed through Fathom Entertainment. Kevin Sorbo's involved somehow.
Absolutely.
The major producer on the project was the Chicken Soup for the Soul Company.
Like, did you think that Signs was too subtle about its story about a lapsed Catholic preacher finding his faith again because of aliens? This movie thinks that was too subtle.
That was subtle.
Anyway, back in the Hellevator, the lights go out again, and when they come back, glass breaks on the mirror backing in the back of the elevator, and then the lights go out again, and when they come back...
Our salesman is stabbed in the throat and dying.
With a big shard of glass!
Yeah, he's still, like, wriggling for a couple of seconds there before he's out.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real. There's, like, some really grisly kills in this movie, like corpses, and I think the makeup work they did, like the effects work they did for all of these, like, character deaths and stuff, it all looks great.
Yeah.
The fake blood, especially, because you look at it and you're like, it's kind of brownish and it's getting into the fingerprints and under the fingernails in a way that, like, it looks good.
Yeah. Honestly, just fun work with the makeup department and the special effects department on the grisly stuff. It looks fantastic. It's fun.
So many people on
Good
this
job,
movie
squad.
were good at their jobs. Why did it come out like that? What happened?
What a twist!
Now that somebody is just straight up dead, Ramirez bursts in with the stupidest thing in this whole movie.
Stupidest fucking thing. I'm sorry. Go on, Annie.
How many times have you seen a child fall and barely miss the edge of the table with their head? Why is it so rare that they hit? Look! And he picks up some toast with jam and tosses it, and it lands jam side down. And he's like, when he's near, everything goes wrong. Toast falls jelly side down. Children
Jesus
hit tables, and people get hurt. Sometimes he takes human form and torments the damned on earth before stealing them away. Where I come from, we call it the devil's meeting. You must consider that one of these people might be the devil!
Jesus Christ.
Jam! The toast
Jam-mo.
lands jam side down, and that's the sign that the adversary himself is near.
It's not like toast landing butter side down isn't like an ongoing joke about how it's a thing that always happens. No, if it happens, that means the devil is near. Literal, actual Satan made your toast fall jam side down.
The one and only Satan.
Anytime you drop your toast, you just need to say, well, hey, Satan, what's up?
Well, that's just the devil nearby. The detective is like, I think it's probably the guard. Because we got his record. He has a record. He has a lot of assault charges. He beat a guy into a coma with a baseball bat. I do want to know what happened with that one. That's wild.
And again, I feel like this conflict between it's the devil versus it's a mundane murder case works a lot better if you don't have that fucking voiceover all of the time saying, yeah, it's definitely Satan.
It's Satan. Don't worry about it.
If you don't say from the get-go, the devil is going to take human form, and you start out with one of us is a murderer, and then it ends up that the devil is here, that's so much stronger.
You gotta wonder if an earlier cut of the movie was that, and then some suit was like, no, you need to explain that it's the devil. The devil thing comes out of nowhere. You need to explain ahead of time that it's the devil.
Honestly, I'm not sure it's a suit thing. I think this might just be Shyamalan, because, like...
Yeah, what a twist.
The longer his films go on, the less confidence it feels like he tends to have in his plot twists.
That might also be the case. And the fact that he was a suit on this movie.
Yeah.
I feel makes us both right.
Speaking of heavy-handedness, the firefighters arrive while Ramirez reminds the audience, in the story, men would always try to fight him with force, but some battles can't be fought with weapons.
That's like that. Of all of these, this one feels the most pointless.
Yeah, because nothing really happens to the firefighters. The firefighters are there to establish kind of a ticking clock of something is being done externally, but it won't happen in time. But, like, this isn't something where, like, the firefighters all die because they tried to interfere with the devil or something.
And it doesn't deliver any new information either.
No.
Like, there's precious little information in any of these, but this one is it's zero information.
Yo.
The detective is flummoxed. He's like, what's happening? I'm missing something.
It's the devil, detective!
It's the devil, detective, but no, why is this happening? Surely that piece of paper in the salesman's jacket pocket that I can tell from this camera that's really shitty is in there. And now I can sort of read this envelope. If maintenance guy will get this envelope and hold it up to the camera for me. It looks like the Better Business Bureau has an office on 35. I better go get some information on salesmen. Superfluous.
Superfluous.
None of this is going to matter.
It doesn't.
We've already established that salesman is like a sleazy salesman. So, like, all of the information we get from this visit to the Better Business Bureau feels extraneous just because, like, I don't think we need to know specifically what any of these people did because we kind of already established that they're bad people.
Yeah, we kind of did. We don't really need to know more.
We'll find out that salesman did a Ponzi scheme.
So who wanted him dead? Everybody.
I don't know. He just seems like a creep. So, like,
Yeah.
Ponzi scheme, sure, but, like, he's a creep and a bit of a lech. So, like, that's about enough.
Yeah.
He was annoying, too.
The worst thing any character can be in a piece of fiction is annoying. Because then we have to sit with them being annoying and be annoyed.
Meanwhile, in the Hellevator, the young woman and the guard are like, I've never seen a person die. And Maintenance like, well, I served in Afghanistan, so...
Yeah.
We find out he is a Marine, because he says oorah. And then, of course, the security guard immediately picks up on the fact that, like, oh, so you're trained to kill people.
Oh, so you're trained to kill people. And then, meanwhile, all of U.S. politics is like, how dare you even imply?
Yeah, the military all just collectively clutches their pearls, and it's like, I thought this was a good Christian film.
Ow! That hurts. My God, is that what I've been doing to people? I belong here.
The detective heads up to 35, where there's the big hole in the window from the suicide, where our forensic lady is back. She's like, hey, look at the suicide note. It's totally normal, except at the end it says, I can hear the devil's footsteps draw near.
She points out that suicide notes are either all rational or all crazy, but this one's a piece of both. And I was like, here's the thing. Saying I feel the devil's footsteps draw near doesn't read as delusional to me. It feels like flowery prose. Like overly flowery perhaps for a suicide note, but not like unreasonably so.
Like in Beetlejuice, where Lydia's writing her note and she's like, having fallen, crosses that out, having plummeted to my death. I am alone, scratches that out. I am utterly alone. The firefighters are having some trouble breaking open the elevator shaft doors. It's jammed because the firefighters are actually doing their job as opposed to the detective who's just kind of trying to get background information and faffing about, yeah. Maintenance tries to do something useful, which is get up out into, like, the top of the elevator shaft, which, as we've established, there's nowhere to go. But he's just like, I don't know, maybe I can get up and, like, fiddle with something because I'm a maintenance guy or whatever. And then young woman is like, no, he's trying to escape, stop him!
Despite him, like, explicitly telling them moments before, so young woman shouts that and security guard grabs him and yoinks him back. Is like, you're not going anywhere!
It is a very stupid sequence of events, but I feel like it's realistically stupid for a bunch of people in a high-pressure situation, one of whom was just murdered.
Absolutely.
It feels like the moment of panic that it could reasonably happen in a situation like this.
Granted, I also feel like, now, Mac, in your elevator shaft research, elevator shafts, at least in many movies, often have, like, ladders built into the side.
Yeah.
Even in an express shaft, there would be some sort of ladder, right?
Yeah, generally for the maintenance people like Dwight to kind of be able to access everything and get around and do stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you can generally access them. That's why in video games you'll often find elevator shafts that you can climb up and then just get off on different floors.
Yeah.
Looking at you, VTM Bloodlines.
Yeah. Lucas, if you could find the bit from Snake Eater where the Snake Eater theme is playing over the really, really, really long elevator, like a ladder climb.
We'll cut out to the Better Business Bureau and then cut back here, back in the Hellevator where the maintenance guy is like, oh my god, can we all just please be normal for a while there's a dead body in the elevator shaft with us? Like, can you guys just search me? I promise I'm normal.
No, we cannot be normal right now. How dare you imply that we can?
The detective, meanwhile, is like, hey, other cop, can you find out who any of these people are? And Ramirez is like, look at the face, look at the face, look at the face, look at the face. And we get a Dutch angle to show how twisted things are. And Ramirez is like, everybody believes in him a little bit, even guys like you who pretend they don't. All right. It's the devil. Okay, it's the devil. Okay.
We got it.
And therefore, the detective has to explain his backstory.
You gotta understand, his family was killed by a hit-and-run driver on the side of Bethlehem Road.
And, like, we've already established this, just more subtly. Like, I don't think this is a thing we need to rehash at this point in the movie, but we're gonna.
No, we need to rehash it, kid.
But we're gonna, and we're gonna do it with the addition of, like, an apology note that says, I'm so sorry, on the back of, like, a coupon that the driver of the car that killed them apparently left at the scene.
And one of our 12 themes is, I don't believe in the devil because we don't need him, because people are bad enough by themselves. All right, man. You want to hop on Reddit for a while. You maybe want to write me an r/no sleep story about how God isn't real, but the devil is. And also there's like a pig that eats suicide victims or something.
Don't forget the giant space cows.
There's also there's also giants for some reason.
And again, this works so much better if we don't have the voiceover constantly telling us, no, it's literally Satan.
Yeah, at least any kind of tension of, is it literally the devil or are these people just doing it to themselves? That's at least a story, right? Is this supernatural or are we using this as an excuse to show man's inhumanity towards man? But instead, no, the movie is occasionally just holds your hand and pats it and says, the devil is in this movie. It's called Devil, and that's not a metaphor. It's the literal devil.
Don't worry about it.
The devil isn't a metaphor about man's inhumanity towards man. It is simply Satan.
It's simply literally the devil.
The detective also rewatches the movie like it's the Spaceballs skimming through Spaceballs the movie. He finds the part of the movie where the young woman was like, I think the salesman grabbed me, but he didn't. We see it from the angle, and the detective is like, what is she up to?
Go back to then. When? Now. Now? I can't. Why? We missed it. When? Just now.
Women, am I right?
Women.
Deception's the curse of their whimsical gender.
Yep. Fucking ladies.
One of the ways this movie wastes your time is by spinning off in random directions of being like, well, maybe this person is the killer. Maybe this person is the killer. In a way that's unnecessary.
Again, could be suspenseful if we didn't get reminded periodically that the devil is here. Like, it's trying to spin into, like, which one of them is the devil, but it's also trying to do which one of them is the murderer at the same time. And it's like, okay, but the devil, though.
The devil's here.
Yeah, but you've told us it's the devil.
So we get to Dwight in the elevator shaft. This scene, and this is the scene where Dwight dies, this apparently took
Dwight.
4 days to shoot, and it was like the second most intensive scene aside from the upside down opening credit shot, I guess.
Huh.
Apparently, the actor who played Dwight did a lot of work to make this whole thing function, which it doesn't feel that long. But I guess this thing of him dangling was actually really hard to do. Because he's just he's sitting in a little sling, like a swing almost. He is not...
Yeah, he's not in a harness.
No. He's not even rappelling down. He is just dangling in the center of this elevator shaft.
Yeah.
This feels unsafe for a number of reasons.
This feels like something that SAG-AFTRA probably had to fight to correct.
We also briefly find out in the Hellevator that the old woman has mace, which the guard swipes and discovers that it expired in 1987. The devil's having some fun here.
She's about to fire off some pepper spray in an enclosed space, which incidentally would have blinded all of them, which may have facilitated more devil murders, but also the pepper spray in question expired 20 years ago.
Man, and you'd also think that maybe if it was active pepper spray, that could be, a surprise tool that could help us later for tension. No.
Alas, no.
No.
It's never coming back again. Don't worry about it.
No.
No, it's just a little gag that she has that and it doesn't work. Because she's had it since the Reagan administration.
It's Ronald Reagan strikes again.
Rip.
No. No, not rip.
Ronald Reagan's grave is a gender-neutral bathroom.
That's true.
Hey, maybe the devil just got it from Ronald Reagan.
I more meant rip as in Ronald Reagan strikes again, rip us.
Ah, yeah, that's fair. Dwight is in this little swing, and he gets knocked back by some pigeons that are in the shaft.
So many animals in the shaft.
Because there's a whole thriving ecosystem in these elevators.
I mean, we have previously established on this very podcast that once you got a pigeon in your building, you're not getting rid of it.
It's true.
Fair.
So the pigeons, fly up into his face. He leans back. It knocks him off balance. And, the chain link that is holding him snaps, and we see it come loose a bit.
We have a moment of him dangling upside down as this thing is breaking, but we don't see it break. And we don't see him fall, which actually I think is kind of interesting filmmaking. I realize that part of that is because this is a PG-13 movie, but I do kind of like that we never directly see anyone get got in this movie. We just see the circumstances that lead to it, and then we see them dead afterwards.
Yeah. I almost wish we had a little bit more, though, because it almost feels like a slight continuity thing. I almost wish we had maybe a close-up on his face or something, or saw that chain more conclusively, fall off, because we go straight from there to a big thud on the roof of the Hellevator. I guess I kind of wish there was a bit more conclusive, because it feels like usually a chain that has come loose but has not entirely come off is more of a tension point of, oh no, can he fix it in time?
Yeah, I feel like if there was a bit between that and this one where there's you're sitting there thinking, well, maybe he lives, and then, but no.
Yeah, maybe just a slight, a lurch or something.
For now, Dwight, and until the end of the movie and forever, Dwight could still be alive. He's just superheroing it up. He's going to burst in and be like, I've solved it. I've fixed the elevator.
No, there's a thud. And they're like, oh, what's that? Oh, there's blood.
There's a thud. They see the walkie-talkie sitting on the ceiling. They can hear voices coming in through the walkie-talkie. There's blood soaking through the ceiling of this elevator. We know this guy's dead.
Oh, yeah. We cut back to more cops arriving outside the skyscraper, which sure, that'll fix it, I guess.
Cops help everything, right?
Just keep introducing cops to the situation. Nothing could go wrong.
The detective gets up to the roof and looks down, shines a flashlight down into the elevator shaft. He can see Dwight's body on the top of the car. I mean, we don't see it in detail, but we see that there's a shape down there. And he's like, hey, I think they can hear us on the walkie-talkie. Let's switch to a different channel. Let's stop telling them about how the one maintenance guy for the whole building is now dead.
Yeah, it's freaking them out. Never mind.
Yeah, but the good news is that the firefighters are going to start breaking through the fucking wall to get to them where they are on floor 21, because firefighters are the real heroes.
Which means it's time for the devil to really step things up.
They get some cameras from the lobby. They find the young woman is in there. They see the old woman swiping a wallet on camera.
Yeah, that wallet that she was showing to the camera, that's not hers.
Which is great. We'll see later, like, her purse just, like, spills out, and there's, like, 5 wallets and pocketbooks in there. They're like, oh, okay. The detective's like, so the salesman is a scam artist, the old woman is a thief, the young woman is a liar, and the guard is a thug. Hey, dude!
Different word, please.
Different word, please.
Hey, bud! Maybe find a different word to refer to a black guy that's not thug, huh? Maybe... God, if there was a black woman in here, you'd call her sassy. What the fuck?
He's a cop, though, so what can we expect, hey, Cap?
God, no kidding.
If you're watching this movie for the first time, you're sitting there going, man, being like a lady who steals wallets out of purses feels pretty weak compared to what these other people have done. That's because the old lady's the devil.
Yeah.
She's the devil.
She's the devil. I also love that he doesn't even know what the young woman is doing, just that he's like, well, she pretended that a guy grabbed her ass, so she's a liar. Which puts her on the same level as the guy who did a Ponzi scheme. Women.
Am I right?
They're just always lying, am I right? They be shopping, they be lying.
They be shopping, they be lying. That's all the ladies do.
They wear makeup to convince you and steal your seat.
To ensorcel you with their devilry.
Yes, ensorcel. That's a good one.
Women.
We had this brief thing earlier when the lights were flickering, when young woman saw a brief glimpse of like, oh no, everybody else is dead and mutilated on the floor. It doesn't do anything. She doesn't bring it up. It goes nowhere. But the detective now sees a quick flash of the same vision. But again, it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah, like, is the devil trying to communicate with them or taunt them, perhaps? Doesn't matter. Doesn't go anywhere.
He also finds out on the camera that maintenance had a bag that he didn't have in the elevator when he entered the lobby. Don't worry about it. It's not anything. Nothing the detective does is anything.
Fun fact. The bag that maintenance man had that he didn't get on the elevator with was red. Every person stuck in the elevator has something red on them.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You won't find red anywhere else in the film.
It's so competently made in parts.
Yeah, and then it just has to keep spinning off with these random red herrings because they were looking at the runtime and going, well, it's not long enough yet.
Speaking of random red herrings and stuff that doesn't do anything, the lights flicker again and they go out. There's a rumbling in the Hellevator, and the guard now lights a match. I don't know where they got a matchbook because we never see matches again. But he lights a match and there's a weird face behind him that's like, looks like a shirtless guy wearing a Halloween mask that looks like a gray face that got smudged or something. We're never going to see it again. It doesn't even look like the face that Ramirez sees in the footage.
It's just there to jump scare you, the audience, and also the security guard.
And then the match goes out. The matchbook is gone. Wherever these matches were, they're dead to us now.
They're gone. Don't worry about them.
Yeah, there's a thumping, and then the lights come up, and the old woman has been hanged by a light cable.
Rip.
That's right. We are doing an Agatha Christie's and then there were none.
Which, again, the extremely short, like 30-minute, 3,000-word version of this story, whereas just these people getting picked off one by one in an elevator as we try to figure out who the murderer is, that's a good concept.
Yeah. And again, like, doing and then there were none twist, which Shyamalan even acknowledges, like, yeah, that was an homage. That was, like, a reference to Agatha Christie's framing for that. Like, that's a good twist of it was the harmless old woman and it was the harmless old woman who died earlier. That's fun. That's good.
That's fun. That's good. That works. Unfortunately, there's so much other stuff in this.
Yeah, no, she's dead. And the detective is like, okay, that's enough bodies. Let's just get everybody out of this building and shove them all in the lobby.
Yeah.
We're going to have the fire department just keep cutting through.
And Ramirez is like, they're bad people. That's why they're in there. And the detective is like, no, this is a coincidence. And he's like, yes, and I just happened to have the wrong job, and you just happened to take the wrong call. He never does this in secret. There's a reason we're in the audience.
There's a reason we have to watch this. Why are you here?
Why are you here, Ramirez?
Why are you here, Ramirez? Are you recognizing that metatextually you are the guy who knows that the devil is doing this?
Yeah.
And therefore your entire job in this situation is to be the guy saying the devil is doing this?
Like, are you aware that you are the POC in this movie that has all of the magical information to convey to the white person? Do you know?
How self-aware is Ramirez?
How self-aware is Ramirez? It's like a switch just flipped in Ramirez, and he was a normal guy, and then suddenly he was like, a suicide on the same day as people are trapped in an elevator? And he just like flips down some sunglasses, and he just starts saying, El Diablo. This poor man.
Madre de Dios.
Oh, and also speaking of more Ramirez stuff, we cut to outside where a woman is trying to get into the building because she's supposed to meet someone. She's turned away by the cops. She'll sneak in later. Don't worry about it. But Ramirez is like, he always kills his last victim in front of the person they love most to make cynics of us all. Okay.
What?
What?
Why is seeing the woman the thing that sets that off for him? I don't, ugh.
This is a newly introduced element to this story, and it also doesn't really do anything because it's outside the elevator, so doesn't really have any bearing on anything. It's trying to be like, here is a piece that is falling into place and the trap is closing, but it doesn't really work.
It's not doing any of those things.
No. Meanwhile, in the Hellevator, the mechanic tries to close the old woman's eyes. And I loved when Mac and I watched this recently. And he's like, I'm trying to close her eyes. And Mac's like, that doesn't work. And then the guard says, yeah, that doesn't work. You've got to wait till they've been dead for a few hours.
And then everyone looks at him funny because he knows that.
Annie didn't look at me funny, though. Annie was like, yeah, it's just something Mac would know.
This is a completely normal thing for Mac to know.
Yeah, but you just accept that that's a piece of information that Mac would have for a variety of things that you knew about her at that point.
Yeah, this is a totally normal thing for Mackenzie to know. This sits at the locus point of many of her interests.
The Hellevator people are probably glad that I'm not there because I would have been expanding upon them about how the elevator was perfectly safe.
Yeah, unless the devil got into it.
I would have told the devil that they should have figured out a better way.
I feel like in the version of this movie where Mackenzie is there, she dies first specifically because she's being too annoying and the rest of them kill her.
Oh, no. The devil just takes out Mackenzie first because she's the one that's being rational. Like, actually, elevators are fairly safe to be stuck in.
Yeah, and then the lights immediately go out and then they come back up and Mackenzie is dead. But she still finds some way to have on her phone that says, I told you so.
I just start playing, my phone starts playing a YouTube video about how safe elevators are.
It's a video of you that you recorded earlier.
I knew the devil would do this, so I just went ahead and wrote this beforehand.
So you're basically just creating your own, like, Scream 3 video footage about how trilogies work because you died in Scream 2.
Yes, exactly.
Paul, 15 minutes, I'm leaving my legacy.
By the way, they found the bag that Mechanic left in the lobby in the bathroom, and it's full of tools.
Because he's a mechanic.
I think they try to make that like, what if he disabled the elevator that way? No, he didn't.
He didn't.
He didn't.
He didn't.
Ramirez, meanwhile, has taken it up to 12 this time for a superstitious Catholic Latino in a horror movie.
Look, he was paid money.
He just, you keep thinking he can't escalate further, and then he does.
He was paid money.
He takes the microphone, he gets on his knees, and he starts praying in Spanish.
This does nothing in the movie, by the way. All it does is kind of annoy the people in the elevator.
They ignore it. After like a second, they're like, what the hell is happening?
Like, the movie shoots it as if it's like a major turning point of the story. It does nothing.
And instead they're like, let's introduce ourselves by our names. We're not going to tell you their names don't matter. It's just that they start referring to each other by names to attempt to, like, in terms of reality shows, Young Woman and Guard have now made an alliance to ally against Mechanic.
Yeah.
Yeah, they both think Mechanic is the killer. And again, this is definitely like a Mechanic and Guard butting heads over who should be and is more effectively protecting Young Woman, which is it's an interesting, like, true to life gender dynamic that I feel works very well in a better movie.
Yeah. To the point where they each start accusing each other of being the murderer because they're like, an obviously young woman couldn't have done it.
Yeah, no, because
she's a lady.
Yeah, in their eyes, she's less of a person, just more of like a generic object that has a big protect me sign over it.
And, you know, she's wholesale, like, going for this. She's using this to her advantage because they start fighting each other and young woman is like, guard, kill him before he kills us. Like, she just goes bananas for a second and then is like, wait, no, stop, get us out. Which, if we were concerned about who the devil was, that's an interesting moment for it, of like, people are being influenced by the devil and losing their minds or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like if this were a movie where we weren't sure that the devil's here.
Yeah, where like we have the question of, is this the devil or are these people losing their minds just by this is what could happen if you were trapped in an elevator with 5 people? What if you became a beast or something?
Gasp.
Would be so much more interesting if the movie wasn't perpetually being like, the devil is doing it. And the detective is like, oh my God, please stop fighting. And they do. They listen to the detective on the speaker. And he's like, just put your hands on the walls and stay in your corners, please.
For 5 fucking seconds.
Like they just got chastised by their preschool teacher.
Yeah, they've now been scolded in kindergarten and they are out in the hall until they behave themselves.
And then the detective is like, well, Ramirez, hypothetically speaking, what happens in your story about the devil? What's the next thing that happens in the movie, Ramirez?
Oh, God.
And he's like, they all die.
And it's not your fault. They made the choices that brought them here. Or something.
This is one of the movie's 12 themes that doesn't fit with any of the other themes.
No, which is like, oh, your responsibility, take responsibility, something.
Yeah, take personal responsibility for your actions or the actual literal devil will come to Earth and kill you.
He'll get ya.
What? He'll get ya.
You'll get got. We find out that the young woman has a criminal record, too. She has 3 counts of blackmailing married men, and the arrest stopped because she married into the Caraway family. Like, that's something we're supposed to know, and she was going to see a lawyer. And the detective is like, I'll go find the lawyer in the lobby.
Detective is useless.
And it works really quick. The lawyer's like, yo!
Yo, what up? I'm right here. Do you have a subpoena? I'll tell you everything anyway.
I'll tell you without telling you. I love cooperating with the authorities. I'm such a good lawyer. Look into the people closest to her. My specialty is forensic accounting.
We'll get into the way propaganda treats lawyers on like a different episode, but sufficient to say there's a very specific agenda behind movies and shows that portray lawyers like this.
If a cop ever talks to you, don't talk to them and get yourself a fucking lawyer.
Don't talk to cops.
Don't talk to cops.
Don't talk to cops. The fire department continues to actually do their fucking job, by the way. We cut back to the fire department. Yeah. They're doing some rad shit with demolition.
You go fucking fire department. You can talk to fire department.
Meanwhile, we haven't really done much with the Henry Winkler guy for a while. The security guard that looks kind of like Henry Winkler.
It's time for him to die.
Yeah, it's time for him to die. Hey, why don't we get like a Ramirez voiceover about how the Henry Winkler guy has to die?
Yeah, sounds good. Gotta hold our hands. Can't make them too shocking.
Yeah, because he asked the firefighters basically, what can I do to help? And they're like, hey, can you go and flip something in the basement? I think there's like a main that has to be turned off in the wall or like a water line that has to be turned off in the wall. So he goes down into the fucking basement and he does that job. Yep. And then he hears a sparking noise and he's like, well, that sounds like the plot.
He's like, huh, there's a bad wire that's shorting out circuits because it's like sitting there and sparking in a puddle of water. And he's like, man, a live wire that's sparking and sitting in standing water?
I should step there.
I should touch that.
I should grab a stick and try to get it out of the water. Because he figures this is what's causing the problem with the elevator. I should grab this stick and lift the wire out of the water. Oh, look, there's a convenient hook on the wall that I could get the damaged power cable onto to get it out of the water. Uh-oh, I can't quite reach. And then he just looks down at the puddle of water, and you see him take like the half step forward he would need to be standing in the water. And that's just where that scene ends. And I kind of like that.
Yeah, there's like a power surge almost up with the firefighters where they're like, okay, well, good. He did a good job. And then the woman who's trying to get in earlier sneaks in. But more importantly, the lobby is distracted because the not Henry Winkler guy stumbles into the lobby totally cooked.
Fortunately, I keep my feathers numbered for just such an emergency.
He is sizzling.
He's the world's most electrocuted man.
He's sizzling. He's twitching. His hair has been burned off. Oh, the makeup looks fantastic on him.
And it's very clear to you what happened, but the movie didn't exactly need to show it. It just lets you make the connection to yourself, which again, I kind of like. Again, there's so many individual pieces of this movie that are competent.
I also love the story that he got fried and then made it all the way up to the lobby from the basement levels. And we can assume there's probably, at least 2 or 3 basement levels.
Yeah, he got this far, and that was about it. He just had to dramatically collapse in front of everybody. He was like, that's how I want to go.
Meanwhile, back in the Hellevator, the young woman is like, my arms are tired. I'm hurt.
I hurt. I can't put my hands on this anymore.
Mechanic's like, put your hands back on the wall or I swear to God.
Security officer guard is like, she doesn't have to if she doesn't wanna.
And the mechanic is like, the chick's a twist.
The chick's a twist.
Because he calls her a chick now. He's a guy that says chicks.
Yeah. He's figured out that young woman has been going full white woman mode on the entire elevator for a while now.
Yeah. He basically explains like, okay, so in the Marines, we would occasionally encounter a twist, which is a guy who manipulates other guys into getting into fights and shit stirring, and there wasn't actually any conflict. So everybody just got together and beat the shit out of that guy, and then all the conflict went away, which is, dubious, but yeah, okay, sure.
That's one way to solve a problem, I guess.
Yeah.
And young woman is like, are you threatening me?
And he's like, no, I just want you to know that I know. And he just smiles at her. The young woman's husband won't talk to the cops and he lawyered up. Good for him.
Good for him. That's how you should do.
But this is a movie at least partially about cops, so they treat this as the most suspicious thing he could have possibly done.
And then we have this little diversion here that is introduced now to bring up tension for the next scene, but is going to be dismissed very shortly, which is like, oh, maybe the young woman is going to take all of her husband's money and then leave him, and maybe he's trying to kill his wife because he owns Caraway Security, the security firm that works this building. Oh my God, what if the guard's been hired to kill the woman and he's been killing everybody else to cover up the fact that there's like a targeted killing by killing random people? Oh my God.
Yeah, and in a movie that's not about actual literal Satan, this would be really good, interesting, resolution to the story. Unfortunately, this is a movie about actual literal Satan, so this is just wasting your time.
Yeah, and it's just here to make the next couple of moments feel a little bit more tense, and then it will just dismiss it immediately. It's like the beginning with how did this body get onto this bread truck off this 2-story building? Oh, it just came from down the street. It introduces and dismisses tension points very, very rapidly. Anyway, the lights are flickering again back in the elevator, and the young woman is like, guard, don't let him kill me. And he's like, I'll keep you safe. Come over here next to me.
And you've got this tension where we're implying that he's the killer. So we're thinking, oh, but is it safe for her to be over there with him?
Man, this sure is something that is going to bring tension into the rest of the movie. Oh, the lights went out and he's dead.
Never mind, it's over. He dead.
Lights went out. Not only is he dead, his neck is broken, where his head appears to have been twisted almost entirely all the way around.
Yeah!
I feel like should be the biggest hint to everybody in the elevator that something supernatural is going on, because you can't do that to a person.
180 degrees! Oh, it rules. I love it. I love it.
Forgive me for this.
Uh-huh.
Forgive me for this.
What do you got?
But what a twist!
Okay. We should have seen that one coming, honestly.
Oh, we did it! We did it!
I feel like we ran right into that one like Wile E. Coyote into like a roadway painted on a wall.
I'm so happy. Thank you for making this happen, Mackenzie.
You're welcome.
There's also a brief moment where the lights go out and the detective is finally like, hey, wait a minute. I know it's 2010, but you all have cell phones. Use your phone screens like flashlights.
And then the devil smacks the phones out of their hands so it doesn't work.
I love that. Yeah, so the young woman and the maintenance guy are like, you don't have to pretend anymore. I know you did this. And they grab shards of glass and point them at each other. I do honestly like this because, like, the woman is just holding it up like she's, like, the final girl in a horror movie and she finally got a kitchen knife or something. Whereas the maintenance guy was a Marine, so he is holding it as though he actually knows what he's supposed to do with this.
And it's like, again, this would be some cool, interesting, genuine tension in a movie that's not about actual literal Satan.
Yeah. Again, if we didn't have the information, we would at least be able to have these two characters. And we're sitting here being like, who is murdering everyone? Because they're both acting like the other person did it. And maintenance guy is even like, they can't hear you. You don't have to pretend anymore.
And, like, there's some genuinely good acting happening in this.
Yeah.
Everyone involved in this is actually quite good at their job. I don't know how the movie itself happened.
Ramirez realizes that it's been a little while since he's been a superstitious Catholic Latino in a horror movie. And he's like,
oh, boy.
This is what he does. He wants us to doubt everything. And the detective is like, according to your story, how would I save them?
You wouldn't.
As though I'm an active character in this movie. And then Ramirez lays out another one of our loose themes. The lies we tell ourselves introduce us to the devil, so you're gonna have to get these people to see themselves as they really are? What?
Okay. Sure.
This was not built up to at all, really.
No.
No.
Because it's not like these characters are like, we don't get enough of their characterization in this because we keep having to cut back to the detectives and people outside, but we never really get enough of like these people talking to each other and laying out their problems. They don't even exchange their backstories with each other. We just get all that externally. So you don't really see them telling lies about themselves to each other or like saying like, I was a victim when actually I was a willing participant in the things that led to my own downfall or something. You don't really get that.
Like there's a version of this that just takes place within the Hellevator where maybe all the characters at some point had, or all the surviving characters had heart-to-hearts about like, here's a bad thing that I may have done in my life, but here's my justifications for doing it, and then we strip away those justifications. But that's not what this is.
No, we don't get a Breakfast Club scene.
Nope.
And instead, the detective gets on the comm and it's like, listen, me though.
And we get another of this movie's 12 themes that don't fit together.
6 months ago, I checked into a hotel and I nearly drank myself to death. The thing is, when you're self-destructing, it looks like it's the world's fault, but it was all on me. The only way out of hell was to take responsibility for what I had become. You are responsible for this. Take responsibility for what you're doing. Put down the glass. Which isn't really why they picked up the glass. It's not because they're avoiding responsibility. It's because they are, you know, forgetting their humanity or something. There's no compassion. It's like, that's not what's happening here.
And also they're being tormented by the literal devil.
Yeah. The literal devil.
Here. Yeah. Like, I feel like you did this to yourself, take responsibility for your actions. It's the theme of the version of this movie where the devil isn't real.
Or the version where the devil is only real at the very end.
Or the version where the devil's only real at the very end. But unfortunately, this is the movie where the devil's real the whole time.
Yeah, the devil's here being real.
Like, what's the actual thing to get these people to put down the glass? It was like, you're better than this. Remember that that's another person. Something about, like, compassion, man's humanity towards man. No, it's just take responsibility for picking up a shard of glass or whatever. Take responsibility for the devil tormenting you. They do agree to put down their glass. The woman puts hers down first, then the mechanic does. But we also cut briefly back to the young woman. She has another glass shard in her back pocket.
Is she the devil?
Gasp.
The lights start flickering again. The cops found the woman who snuck in, and they're like, I think she knows somebody in the elevator. And then the lights flicker. The mechanic grabs his phone to point the light at her, and the young woman reaches for her secret glass shard. So what if Chekhov just immediately shot his gun?
Yeah. The young woman who has snuck in is like, I hear my fiance Tony Jankowski is in there, and the detective goes, Jankowski? Jane?
I thought the old woman was named Jane Kowski. And, like, the lights go up, and, like, the young woman is convulsing on the floor, and the mechanic's head has blood on it. It's not clear what happens, but he's like...
Yeah, he's, like, cradling her.
He's like, come on, breathe, breathe. And then he's like, who is the old woman, then?
And we see the old lady rising up behind the mechanic with her head twisted sideways and her eyes black.
Ramirez is like, it's her!
What a twist!
Thank you, Ramirez. We spotted her. Thank you.
And so now...
The devil's real. It's the old lady.
This would be the coolest part of, like, a play where it wasn't certain if the devil was actually involved. Would be if, like, the lights go off on stage and then it comes back and the woman is just there and her eyes are black now or something.
Yeah.
Especially if this is a version of a play where, like, when people are dead, they've just got to keep lying there on the stage.
Yeah.
The entire time the rest of the stuff is happening. And then you just imagine the audience reaction when they see, like, one of the dead bodies get back up.
Like, how much does that rule in live theater, right?
Imagine that in, like, a theater in the round.
Yes!
How much would that fucking rule?
Also, imagine if in live theater, like, it's kind of like Clue, where they have different variations on
what if a
endings
different
and they can
person
place, like, the clues?
Like sheer madness or something.
And so each time you go, it's a different person?
Yeah! That would actually rule if it was a different one of, like, oh, you could even have, like, people die in different orders if you wanted to have a couple different variations on, like, the last half of the play or something. Fuck.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is that we're writing a fringe play called Hellevator.
It resembles, but is legally distinct from M. Night Shyamalan's Devil. So, again, the devil stands up, and he's like, who are you? And she's like, today I'm an old woman. Like, sidebar, the woman playing the devil is having a great time. She does fantastically here.
She's having a wonderful time.
She's playing the devil extremely well.
And the mechanic is like, oh, what's going on? And she's like, are you ready? It's your time. And we have a flashback to the mechanic in a wig.
In a wig.
No.
It's a
It's
bad
not
wig.
a good wig.
It's a bad wig.
And we find out that he was a drunk driver. He hit a car at night. It's a grisly little car crash. There was a woman who fell out of the driver's seat, died in front of him as she points towards the passenger seat. And there's a quick flash of, like, a child-sized body that's not moving that's also been thrown out of the car.
The actual car crash, as we see it, is also really, really good because we're just in
Yes.
like the cabin of the car with him as he's driving, and then it's just bam, he has hit another car. It is just in an instant he has hit something.
Again, the mechanic's
It's good.
acting in this scene is great as, like, he is grappling with the horror and also, like, having been super drunk. There are, like, so many crushed cans of Budweiser in his car. And it's just, like, the horror. And then he just finds this car wash coupon note, writes, I'm so sorry, and tucks it into the windshield as he drives off. So,
It's really good acting.
yeah, that's the one that the detective has.
That's the one, detective. What
Yeah.
a twist!
Back to the Hellevator, the mechanic apologizes, and the devil's like, whatever, it's all the same to me. The whores, the liars, the cheats, the deserters, it's always the same thing. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Great time. Having a great time, this old lady.
Oh, she's great. And the mechanic tries to be like, I deserve to be taken by the devil. Let the young woman live. I should never have left. It's my fault. And the devil is like, you think it'd make some kind of bargain? Excuse me, Hellevator.
Excuse me?
You spent a very long time telling us that this was the actual literal devil. Hey, what's a thing the devil keeps doing in folklore?
Famously, yes.
The devil fucking loves bargains.
The devil loves bargains.
I bet a fiddle of gold against your soul because I think I'm better than you.
He loves bargains.
He loves bargains.
He can't get enough.
It would make more sense.
Old Scratch loves standing at the crossroads looking to make a bargain with somebody.
It would make way more sense if she was like, look, I'm all for bargains, but you have nothing to offer here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I already have your soul, motherfucker.
Yes!
What do you have to trade?
God, that would be so good. And, like, the elevator drops right as the firefighters make it through, like it's the Tower of Terror at Disney World, and then it stops again. There's a massive ka-chunk, and the devil is like, you think this will make you good? You think this will make up for the choices you've made? You think you can be forgiven? She's so good. She's having so much fun.
I love that the elevator stops because of one of the many safety measures that Mackenzie explained to us at the beginning of this episode. Like, even the devil himself can't make an elevator drop all the way to the bottom. There's just too many things working against you there.
This has jostled Dwight's walkie-talkie into the elevator car, though. And as the mechanic says no to all three of the devil's questions, he picks up the walkie-talkie, and then as we have a very quick moment where the continuity editor remembered they all switched to a different channel, you have to tell him what channel to put the walkie-talkie on. He confesses to the hit and run. He was like, I killed a mother and her son on Bethlehem Pike 5 years ago. It was a hit and run and I was never caught. I'm so sorry. And Ramirez, who was told the detective's backstory earlier, just looks at him like, I told you so. And the devil stares at him and then just slowly, damn.
Damn.
I really wanted you.
Damn. What a twist.
I feel like, again, in the theater and the round version of this, where the detective is only a voice over the radio, this works better.
Yeah.
Because imagine this is your only connection to the outside world, and you have to tell this voice that has been your only connection to the outside world that you killed his family. Imagine, like, imagine the stakes of that. Imagine the emotion of that.
I could see, like, the slight concession to the detective being outside the elevator as, like, if you do a theater in the round, you have this character who is only walking around in the aisles and has scenes, like, near the stage but never on it.
Yeah, or is even just a disembodied voice.
Yeah.
He's even just a voice. He doesn't even have a face.
Yeah.
That's the good shit.
Yeah, and then the devil just stands up, adjusts the collar of her shirt, the lights go out in the entire building, and then they all come back on, the firefighters open the elevator shaft, and the devil is gone.
Devil's gone.
I love the devil here. She was so great.
So good.
This is just a delightful angle on Satan. It's just this horrible demonic old lady. I enjoy her greatly.
A horrible biddy.
We love horrible biddies here on Quick Kardashian Camp.
They wheel away bodies. We do this denouement here, and the detective is the one who takes the mechanic in his squad car, which I feel like literally if anyone else was paying attention, they would be like,
no, that's a conflict of interest. No.
No. You are not the one. No, you can maybe talk to him down at the precinct or something, but you are absolutely not being in a car alone with this guy.
But then again, a cab, they'd be like, yeah, babe, Starlight Tours, and we don't care.
Ugh. But they're driving away, and again, genuinely good acting here as the detective, like, looks at him in the rearview mirror. You can see him working his jaw. Like, he is having a huge, like, internal thought process here that's really coming out well on camera. And then he finally tells the mechanic, that was my family that died on Bethlehem Pike. I've been waiting for this moment for 5 years. All the things I'd say to you, what I'd do. And we have this thing where we're like, hey, remember how in the beginning of the movie we talked about forgiveness or something and then kind of dropped that for 75 minutes? He's like, the thing is, I forgive you. And I don't know why, but okay.
Okay.
Want another Mac fact?
Yes.
In most states, it's criminally short how long the statute of limitations is on hit and runs with manslaughter and felony hit and runs in general where death is involved.
Including with children?
Including with children.
Damn.
In Pennsylvania, it's 5 years.
Oh, so the statute's passed.
The statute's passed.
Most likely the statute has passed.
The mechanic is not going to get charged.
Oh my god.
And then, because this movie is not subtle, Ramirez comes over the VO again. We had to get one last Ramirez, one more superstitious Catholic Latino line.
We gotta ruin this fucking scene with some bullshit VO.
My mother always comforted us. Don't worry. If the devil is real, then God must be real too.
What? That's not what this movie's been leading up to at all.
No, this movie never had any question at all as to whether or not God was real. God never really entered into this equation, honestly.
We have seen no evidence whatsoever that God is real.
We have just been talking about the devil.
Made by some Christian company.
We have a brief cut of that establishing shot of Philly with that bridge right side up again.
All's been fixed.
Because the world has righted itself. That's
Something
like that.
Off.
The movie's over.
Yeah. Oh, God.
And I think we have solidly proved that this movie should have been called Hellevator.
It should have been called Hellevator, and also just like, this movie either has nothing to say or has so many things to say that it says nothing.
Again, like, I feel like we have really created an incredibly good, 30-minute play.
So yeah, come see our Fringe play Hellevator at Edinburgh Fringe, 1st to 25th of August.
It writes itself. We can definitely get it produced. It's fine. God, that play would absolutely rule, though.
That play would absolutely rule.
It would slap so hard.
Again, this movie is just so much fat. It is so much fat that needs to be trimmed out, and it could be such a good short film. It would be a better play. This is absolutely a play scenario.
Like a short story written by Harlan Ellison, or like a play in a theater in the round that you go see at Fringe one year and it haunts you for the rest of your life. But no, M. Night Shyamalan was like, no, this needs to be a 90-minute movie. And they were like, we don't have enough material for 90 minutes. And he said it needs to be an 80-minute movie.
Oh man, I love Hellevator.
I love Hellevator so much.
It's so fascinating because it's not just garbage. It's garbage where you can see how easily it could be improved if it was something completely different.
Honestly, I think that's part of why we like it, because it's clear that they were putting effort into this.
Yes, there is competence on display here.
And it just twisted so wrong.
Each individual minute of this movie is well made. It's just when you put those 80 minutes together, what you have is...
It's so interesting. It's like a weird math equation where somehow the sum of all of this is less than its parts.
Also, just cut Ramirez. Just cut Ramirez from this movie.
God,
just cut him entirely.
Cut Ramirez, please. Please just cut Ramirez. Don't do this to him.
Or let him be the detective and not just be the suspicious Latin.
Yeah.
Or the detective's partner or something where they have some kind of pre-existing rapport where he has more of a character.
Don't make him just the guy who's there to keep saying, the devil is there, Madre de Dios.
Madre de Dios.
Please give him something else to do. Please.
At the very least, if he's going to pray over a microphone, let that actually do something.
Yeah, it's even shot. It's got this overhead shot of him. This is going to be the thing that saves all of them, and it fucking doesn't. It doesn't do shit.
They ignore it after 5 seconds. Come on. It's one of the great things about What We Do in the Shadows, it's that they just play by regular-ass vampire rules. If they go into a church, they just light on fire. If you're going to have the devil, just have him, actually physically cringe when someone starts praying in his presence or something. Come on.
Do the supernatural thing where the devil flinches when you say the name of God.
Yeah! Come on!
You have options.
Can we get a Yahweh in the chat?
Call yourself Hellevator. Be honest.
Be honest.
Commit!
Commit to what you are.
All right, I think that brings us around to our final facts at this point.
I think it does.
Kit, what's your final fact?
Not everything needs to be a fucking movie. Try other mediums.
Annie, what's your final fact?
Consider putting characters in your movie who do things that affect the plot. Mac, what's your final fact?
In horror movies, the old lady is always the best character.
God, someday Mac and I are just going to do a whole fucking 5-movie Insidious thing.
Fucking love Insidious, but only because of Alyssa. Please.
played by Lynn Shay.
Lynn Shay's just so good.
Lynn Shay is so great.
Also, personal Mac fact, get better at pronouncing names.
Is that a fact or is that a note to yourself?
Both.
Yeah, random words are fine, but names, maybe the names.
Yeah.
All right, then I think that is going to do it for us. We've proven this beyond the shadow of the doubt. This should be called Hellevator. It should be a short story or a play, and it's going to be great someday as a play. We're probably not going to write it, but somebody should.
Everybody out there should just call this Hellevator from now on. That's how it's known.
Collectively change the SEO of this movie for us.
Yeah, you know how Mackenzie, when we did the Star Trek 4 episode, just started by Googling Star Trek 4 Save the Whales, and then was infuriated when that didn't produce the results that she wanted? That's going to be everybody with Hellevator now.
Yeah, we're making this happen together. Join us next time. The Wolf Pack will be back for our next episode, when Lucas will have a fact for us about the movie Mystery Men. We're digging deep into the schlock for that one. I can't wait.
Didn't we just end up using a lot of drops from Mystery Men over a variety of other episodes? I feel like our audience has seen the whole movie by now that way.
It's kind of a call forward, you know? It's called foreshadowing, Kit. Look it up.
Foreshadowing is a literary device. Lucas, if you could put in the H-Bomber version of foreshadowing is literary device.
I have it for Fatal Heart, so I can give that to you, Lucas.
How about new?
Oh my god. So look for that next time. In the meantime, I Will Fight You comes out every 5 weeks. It is edited by Lucas Brown of The Math of You. If you want to talk about this episode, you should do it. You should just do it in general, period.
Just do it.
Just
Tell
do
everybody
it.
about Hellevator.
Tell everyone about Hellevator.
Tell your friends about Hellevator.
Spread the good word about Hellevator.
You out at the club, talk about Hellevator. Be a problem.
You know those memes with somebody who's just yelling in somebody else's ear who looks really bored? Do that about Hellevator.
I know I do.
And if you want to do that where we're at, you can do that on Blue Sky. We're at crcpodcast.bisky.social. We're also on Tumblr. Crooked Russian Cam is just about anywhere. We have a Discord. If you want to find the link to our Discord, you don't have to be a patron to join that. It's just whatever. We don't care. You can find information about that, about our social media stuff, about our other shows. You can find all that on crookedrussiancam.horse or crookedrussiancam.gay. That's right, it's the .gay horse. We also have a place where you can give us money, and you can find links to that on our website as well. It's patreon.com/thegemmjam. We also have a Ko-fi on there if you feel like doing a one and done. That's on you. I don't, just give me $1 in some capacity. Give our podcast $1 so we can pay our editors. All of our money goes to paying our editors.
Reach into your parents' wallet. Find some cash.
Those green pieces of paper. Mail them to old Soupy. We are keeping Soupy sales alive single-handedly on this podcast.
Only people on the internet still talking about Soupy sales.
Oh, God. Yeah, give us money. You can get early episodes of I Will Fight You. You can get show notes. You can get behind-the-scenes stuff for our other shows as well. We have good things. We have such sights to show you. And by that, I mean mostly audio, so we have such listens to listen to. We have such audios to don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
We thought there was something there, and it turns out
nothing.
there's not.
There's nothing.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. There was nothing there. I think that's everything.
Probably.
Why did I get so giggly at the end of this?
I don't know. Go to moriarty.inferiorwit.com. Do it. You'll feel normal emotions about it.
Do that too while you're at it. That's us then. That's I Will Fight You. Join us again next time for a Wolfpack episode. Until then, I'm Annie.
I'm Kit.
And I'm Mac.
And we have fought you.
Lucas, yes, Mackenzie is unusually energetic for this recording.
This bodes so well.
We're all very excited for what this means.